Hey, Tracy.
Hi, Brad. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing okay.
Right on, right on. Got a couple other people joining in. Hey, Delaney.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well.
Good.
We got somebody else, B Bond.
Hi, Brad.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, thanks.
Good. Hi, Delaney.
Hi, Tracy.
Long time no see.
I know, right?
Yes. Gosh,
It's crazy.
it is crazy.
I
I'm
finally
tired.
had to buy me one of those. I found a stand-up desk that's got like different layers on it of shelving, so that I
cool.
finally got off my kitchen table this week.
Yay.
Look at that. That's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hi,
Cool.
Jessica. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Carrie.
Hi, I've missed so many of these. I've had these stacked Fridays with calls, but today my 7 calls left a window for this one, so I'm really excited.
There we go. Yeah. Cool, that's awesome, that's awesome. Okay, well it is 1:15 by my clock, so I say we jump right into it. I see most of you have your microphones muted. If you don't already have your microphone muted, will you please do so? You're going to need a few pieces of equipment. You'll need a ball of some sort. I'm using a lacrosse ball. You'll need a foam roller and the yoga mat for comfort. So I've got a list of exercises here. Oh, we got one more coming in. Let me add them. All right, Dan is in now. Got a list of exercises here, all kind of targeting the upper body for the most part, and how these muscles on the front side of our body can contribute to text neck pain. If these all get tight, it's going to pull us forward, and that neck has to get tight to kind of keep us looking forward. So we're going to hopefully create some little sense of ease throughout that whole area and relieve any neck pain that any of you guys may be dealing with. All right? So, first one, grab your ball, and it's a pretty simple one that we're going to start with. I'll back up a little bit so I'm not right on top of the camera. Basically, we're going to use the ball here to tack down the tissue. And actually, I'm going to move right back up closer so you can see easier. So, what I want you to do is use your ball and find your collarbone. We're going to go right underneath the collarbone. And I want you to push it into the chest so there's a little pressure inward. Then I want you to twist. And you can see my shirt kind of get twisted up with it. And the goal, not so much really to twist the shirt, it's actually, the goal is to twist your skin underneath the shirt. So I want the skin to have a little bit of a rotation to it. Keep that, and then I'm going to gently pull down as I keep that rotation. So I'm just winding up the skin and all the tissue underneath it. So I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to just kind of look in the opposite direction of that pull with the ball, that downward pull. So I'm going to look up into my left. It doesn't matter which side you started on. We're going to do each side for 2 minutes. But you're going to kind of play with it. There's no exact vector for you to look off. It's a little bit of self-experimentation here. You might find that you need a little bit higher up on the collarbone or along the collarbone more towards the shoulder. So it's a little bit of self-experimentation, just kind of playing with the different angles of pull and seeing where you feel tightest here. And this one isn't going to create a ton of relief for us. It's more so just kind of loosening everything up for, like here, I feel really, really tight. Loosening everything up for some of the later exercises that we're going to be doing. Oh, looks like we have someone else in the waiting room. Kate jumping in, awesome. So let's go another minute or so on this side, and then we will switch sides. So I found that tight spot for me and putting a little bit of pressure, a little bit of that twist and downward force towards my right shoulder, my right armpit, and I'm looking kind of up and away, the exact opposite direction of what I'm pulling on with the ball. Make sure you're breathing with it. Ideally, that exhale would be in that farthest stretch position. So when you're looking in that opposite direction, exhale. Come back to center, inhale. Look away, exhale. As with all of these moves that we do, the bigger the breath, the better. All right? And now it's time to switch to that other side. So Kate, since you missed kind of the setup, I'll go through it again. Take your ball, tack it into the chest, right below the collarbone. From here, pressure into the body. Then you're going to twist, and that twist is going to grab some skin and twist it up underneath your shirt. That's a good thing. And then keep all of that and apply a little bit of downward pressure. So I'm kind of pushing my skin towards the armpit. Then I'm going to reach my chin up and look away in the opposite direction. I'm feeling a big stretch all through the front side of my neck here. Deep breath in, exhale as I slowly look away. And you can play with looking straight over to the side, looking up a little bit. Like I said before, there's no one correct way to do this. It's all about self-experimentation and finding the sort of vectors that you are tight in. Everybody's body's a little bit different. So we have to play with a little bit to find what works for us. And I'm noticing that really my whole left side, I can really pretty much do anything on this left side, and I can feel it. It's pretty tight for me. Nice deep breaths. And you find that right line of pull for you, you can get some referred sensation. Like I'm getting a pulling sensation, a little bit of a tingling sensation, like in the top of my head actually. Because all that fascia is all connected up through the cheek, all through the top of the head here. So that can give a little bit of insight into like tension headaches, right? Tension headaches a lot of times would be like the back of the neck causes your head to hurt. It's all kind of the same thing. It's all connected fascially, right? So if we create slack in one part of the system, it should create a sense of ease and more mobility in the rest of the system as a consequence. All right, let's do 30 more seconds on this side. Then we'll get into a little bit more involved exercises. And one more big wind up, look away, deep breath in. Exhale. And relax. All right, shake that out, however feels good. Now I actually am going to back away from the camera a little bit. This one, we're basically going to do like a one-sided snow angel. So if you're a kid playing in the snow, laying in the snow, you make a snow angel with your arms. We're gonna do that same motion, but we're gonna be face down, and this little torture device is going to be in our pec muscle somewhere. So somewhere in our chest. I would advise kind of starting in that upper region of the pec first, hunting for some tight spots along the top of your chest, and then as we progress, feel free to move down the pec as well. All right, so go ahead and line out face down. Make sure you guys can see me. Should be good there. Tack down a bit of tissue. You might have to roll a little bit side to side to find a tight spot. I've got one here. And you can kind of move your body in different orientations to change the pressure on that ball. But find that pressure that you can tolerate, that you can breathe through. Then nice and slow, start that snow angel-like movement. So I'm just gently sweeping my fingers across the floor. Nice deep breaths. We'll do 2 minutes aside here. When you get to that arm close to overhead, you might feel that pec muscle kind of roll over the top of the ball. Mine does it right here. And if you're like me, that's going to be an extra sensitive point of the range of motion. That's okay, that's what we're doing it for. With all of these exercises, you want to hunt the discomfort, all right? We don't ever want to create pain. It shouldn't be painful, but by nature, all of these exercises are definitely uncomfortable. So chase that discomfort and try and breathe through it. Nice deep breaths. And for the second minute, just try and find a second spot. If you don't have a second spot, feel free to stay on that spot. That's perfectly fine too. But now I'm going to go a little bit more towards my sternum and do the same motion there, kind of hunting around. And kind of the first glance, it's not quite as bad for me here. So I can roll a little bit side to side, play with that arm wave, and now I've found a spot. So I'll hang out here and do the motion here. Let's get one more big wave, then we'll switch sides. Take that big deep breath in and slowly exhale. All right, push up, get off the ball, shake out that arm, however feels good. Now I'll do the same thing on the opposite side. I'll switch directions so you guys can still see. I'm going to start again kind of in that upper half of my pec, so kind of where it's closest to my collarbone. In that region, there's no exact spot where to put it. But I like to start by first just laying it in there, a little side-to-side hunt. For me, closer to my armpit is a little bit more sensitive, so I've found that spot. I'm going to stay there now. Now I'm going to add that arm motion. Up over the top, and back down. And it's kind of interesting, as you do this more often, you'll find consistent patterns in your body. So, like I said, when we were doing that neck sort of tacking stretch that we started with, said my left side was a little bit tighter, and same with this exercise here. My left side is a little bit more sensitive than my right was. And then if you remember from last week's session, focused on the lower back, my right hip was tighter. So I know I've got a little bit of a cross-body weakness or tightness going on. My right lower body, the right half of my lower body, and the left half of my upper body tend to be just a little bit more beat up. And that sort of cross-body patterning like that is very common. Right, we're coming into that second minute to try to find that second spot. This time I'm going to go into the bottom half of the pec. Again, I'm looking for that side-to-side motion to find that sensitive spot. And then once I found it, add that up and over. Remember, if you don't have a second spot, simply stay at that first spot. Give it a little bit of extra attention. That's perfectly fine. Nice deep breaths here. Got about another 30 seconds before we get into the next movements. Ten seconds, trying to get 2 more waves of the arm, 2 deep breaths with them. And relax. Come on, off the ball. You can set your ball off to the side. You're not going to need it for the next move. So next, we're actually going to do a yoga pose. A very simple yoga pose. We're going to hold for roughly 2 minutes each side. And it's called broken wing, if you're familiar with it. So basically, the orientation of our arm is probably what's most important here. So if this is a perfect 90-degree angle so that my elbow is directly in line with my shoulder, I want to go just north of that. So I'm going to reach my arm up just a little bit, definitely not straight overhead, but just from that perfect 90, just a little bit of an upward reach, and that's where we're going to stretch, right? So again, we'll be belly down, laying my right arm on the ground, and then taking it just a little bit north of 90. My left hand comes right next to my left armpit. From here, I take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, I push into my left hand. That's going to roll me towards my right arm. And I'm just going to lay the head down. Whoever's comfortable, you can rest it on your foam roller. Even rest it on the left fist if that feels good to you. But you're just going to roll enough to where you feel a big stretch in the front side of that right shoulder and pec area. Right away, start to get into your breathing. The deeper, the better. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And repeat in that pattern. In through the nose, and side out. As you feel the body start to open up, you can continue that roll towards that arm. That right leg might float in the air like mine does a little bit. It might touch the ground. Neither way is incorrect. It's just about what's most comfortable for you to keep you in the stretch. Think about bringing your sternum up towards the top of your mat. So a lot of times, just like in that poor posture position, that sternum will collapse and round down towards the ground. Think of trying to lift it up. So I'm reaching my chest up and forward, and that gives me a little bit deeper chest stretch. One more deep breath in. And exhale. As you do, roll back to center. Feel free to shake out that right arm however you need to. Then we'll set up for the same thing on the left side. So switch, give you guys a little bit of a different angle. So now my left arm, I started out at that perfect 90. Reach a little bit north of that. Right hand next to the right armpit. Deep breath in. Exhale to push into it, rolling towards that left arm, relaxing the head down wherever is comfortable for me, and starting that deep breathing. Keeping the chest lifted. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Stay in it. I'm just checking the time. We've got about another 30 seconds. Let's do another 3 to 5 deep breaths. And on your next exhale, go ahead and release, rolling back to center, and grab your foam roller. So next, we're going to spend a couple minutes on each side, rolling out the lats. So we're actually going to be kind of counterintuitive. We're rolling out the back muscle to help the muscle on the front side. And if you know your anatomy, you know the lat, it attaches out of the lower back, comes all the way around, and attaches to the inside of the upper arm. So if that gets tight, that muscle gets overly tight. That pulls us into that internally rotated sort of slumped forward posture position. So we're going to create some flexibility, some range of motion in that muscle now. So go ahead and lay the foam roller down perpendicular to your body. Whatever side starts down, that same arm is going to be up overhead. And make sure that arm, notice my hand up here is palm face up, so palm up towards the ceiling. And start high in towards the armpit. You want to find that attachment point or close to it of that lat muscle. And then just start rolling side to side. So I'm rolling forward towards my chest, rolling back towards my back towards my back. And the tongue twister there. And just hunting for that tight spot. And for me, it's really the whole thing. So I can just hang out right here and just spend a couple minutes breathing, slowly massaging out this muscle. So a couple of different techniques you can use once you have your spot here is right now I'm doing what I call like a pressure wave. I tack some pressure down and I wave it into the front side of the lat, then I wave it right back into the back side of the lat. So feel free to stick with that if that feels good to you. You can also do more of a scrub. That's more focused kind of on the skin and how the skin interacts. So I'm putting pressure down into the foam roller here, and then I'm literally just kind of scrubbing my lat, my armpit, back and forth. You can feel kind of the skin move and take up slack as you hit kind of the end range of motion there. And as you do that, you'll feel different portions of the muscle get put on tension, get put on pressure. And that's a good way to just kind of improve how the skin, the fascia, the muscle, they're all basically different layers, how they all slide on top of one another. So feel free to switch between those two modalities, whatever works best, feels best for you. You can kind of start to roll up a little bit towards the, I guess, lower down towards the rib cage. Kind of do that same thing, that side-to-side scan, a little bit back and forth scrubbing. Ooh, if I roll towards my rib cage a little bit, I can definitely feel some tightness there. And let's go ahead and come off of that and simply switch sides. So now I'm going left side down, palm face up, left arm is up towards my head, and starting off with that pressure wave, just because it's a good way to hunt for those tight spots. Again, on this side, the whole thing is tight, so I can really kind of hang out right here. But I know on that last side that scrub really felt good for me, and it does here too, so I'm gonna go right into that. There's kind of that side-to-side scrub, back and forth. Ooh, yeah, left side once again, tender. Got another minute here before we get into our last exercise. So really try and get the most out of it that you can. And by getting the most out of it, I oftentimes think that means most people need to slow down. A lot of times people with foam rolling, they try and do too much area or too large of a portion of their body too quickly. So find one spot and really focus in on that spot as much as you can for the next 20 seconds. And 2, 1, come on up. All right, last exercise I want to get into is all about T-spine rotation. If you did my first class on neck pain, we did a lot of spine work, particularly a lot of work for the upper spine. The upper spine obviously directly connected to the cervical or the portion of the spine within your neck. So if we can create more rotation here, the neck has to do less work. That's the goal. So start on your hands and knees. You're going to take your left hand. We'll start on the left side. Just reach it out to the left side. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, I want you to weave that right arm, or excuse me, that left arm underneath the right as far as you can. You can set the head down. Briefly pause there. Then open it up, out to the side, and eventually all the way up towards the sky. We're going to follow that sort of paintbrush motion for about a minute, then we'll get that other side. So just think about trying to take that hand through as big of a range of motion as possible. And by focusing on the hand, we'll be moving the shoulders and spinning the shoulders from facing towards my right to all the way facing towards my left. Is that big rotation that we want. Nice and slow here. Be mindful with your breathing. And let's go ahead and set that left arm down. Same thing on the right side, last exercise of the day. So inhale it up, exhale it down and through. The bigger the range of motion, the better. Inhaling up, exhale down and through. Another 15 seconds or so. Really try and open up as big as you can. And then close off as small as you can on that reach underneath. Last rep here. Inhale. And exhale as we weave. And relax. All right. So that is today's routine. The goal of this routine is not necessarily to cure your neck pain. I'm not a physical therapist. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not licensed to cure anything. I'm just hoping to give you guys a wide tool set with all of these. So between this routine and the more spine-focused neck routine, you have a whole bunch of exercises that you can do on your own to help relieve any neck pain you're doing. So I'm a big believer in small, frequent bouts. So kind of that 2-minute dose, I think, is perfect. Do a little bit kind of every day or every other day, and hopefully you'll see some relief. With that, I saw a question pop up while we were going. Let me see. Thank you. Have to hop off a few minutes early. Today was fantastic. Awesome. Cool. That's always good to hear. Okay. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know, or you can reply to the email. And I hope you guys all have a great weekend, and I will talk to you on Monday in the email.
Thank you.
Brad, thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
Absolutely. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.